Good afternoon and welcome to the market close for Wednesday, July, 17th? Can't believe it. We're already halfway through July. Where is time going? Whew. All right. So this is going to be, this should be a good show. We got a whole bunch of stuff happening in the market. We're going to look at the market here in a second. Starting to work on the wall. Now you might be able to see if I move out of the way, you can see I've started on this side, the new just gray and white, and that's going to move across the whole thing. So you'll see that, of course, happen as we move along. So yeah, red day on the market. What's going on? Well, we got a few things happening. One of the big catalysts right now is tech is crashing hard today. And that reason why tech is crashing hard is all about, well, Mr. Joe Biden has decided that he needs to start looking a little harder at China and maybe increasing some of the sanctions on Chinese tech companies. So as a result, people are a little worried. People are definitely a little worried. Now, they are, let's just give you an idea. So on the NASDAQ, holy cow, we had a big drop. We're going to look at that here in a moment anyway. What they're actually saying, I've just pulled it up right now. So Biden administration is mulling plans to impose more sanctions on Chinese tech firms and to heighten some of the semiconductor trade restrictions between the US and China. So that's having basically a knock-on effect right across the market. It's affecting Canada. It's affecting the US. Now, Canada, we got another situation as well. We got another little factor going on too. And that all has to do with a certain CPI report that came out yesterday. We'll explain on the other side of the bell. So for now, let's pull up that market. Holy banana bread. All right. Before we even look at the market, if you guys were here on the last market close, actually, it wasn't even the last market close. I think we did this on the weekend. We put this little line here because Bitcoin had been pumping. Yeah, it was on Sunday. We put this line here, and I just want to show you. It pumped all right. Look at this. Pump. A little bit of a sell-off, but continued to pump. Since then, we've been pumping pretty hard. So pretty interesting. But over on the market, we're in the red. Everything is pretty much in the red except for WTI. The S&P 500, it's down 0.62%. S&P 5, sorry, that was a TSX. TSX is down 0.62%. S&P 500, much worse. That's down 1.37%. NASDAQ is down 2.65%. Gold's down 0.4%. Silver's down 3.16%. Yikes. WTI, our West Texas Intermediate, it's up 2.06%. So I gotta like that. Gotta like that we have something in the green. And Bitcoin, it's actually down, believe it or not. Even though we've been pumping since Sunday, we're down at 0.65% down. So pretty interesting. All right, get ready. Shield your eyes. Here comes a lot of red. All right. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought, but it's still pretty red. So as you can see, we've got red in here. We got a lot of red. The banks are actually not doing so bad. Look at the Royal Bank. They're up 1.42%. TD's up 0.45%. BMO is down a little bit, though. Manulife Financial is down as well. Sun Life Financial, they're down. Bank of Nova Scotia is down. CNQ is down. Over here on the food side, We got Loblaws down. And Loblaws, by the way, that is our next deep dive. So channel members will be able to see that tomorrow and everybody else on Friday. Alimentation Couche-Tard, they're down big time. 1.4%. Dollarama's down. Do we have like anything good in here? We got Nutrien. Nutrien's up 2.6%. There we go. Here's Nutrien. So they're doing good. But other than that, not a great day on the markets. Same idea. You look at our ETFs, pretty red as well. That just makes sense because we get red markets right across the board. So of course the ETFs are going to follow suit. And in the US, this is where we see the leaders in this big drop today. We got Nvidia down 6.13%. Apple's down 2.29%. AMD, look at this, 9.32%. And as you can see, it's mostly chips. It's mostly, if you have a chip involved in your company, you get hit even harder. Google's down, Microsoft's down, Meta's down, Tesla is down. I mean, there are a couple of, well, Pepsi's up. So if you like Pepsi Cola, they're doing well today. United Healthcare, couple little things. All right, let's take a look at crypto. And yes, we got ourselves a lot of red in here as well. Ethereum's down, Bitcoin's down, Solana, look at that. XRP though, they're up 6.25%. So you can't say that's bad. So let's see here. Oh, we got a lot. I'll do the random pick. I won't even scroll in. I'll do the random pick. We're going to pick some coin I've never, ever heard of. Right about here. Let's see what this is. Power pool. What the heck is a power pool? I mean, you add power to a pool and swimmers die. I mean, I don't know what a power pool is. Anybody know what this is? If you know what it is, let me know. But they're not having the best day. I mean, they're up a little bit, but yeah, I do not know what this is. There's about 14,000, actually more than 14,000 crypto out there, and I don't know what they are. I would never buy it. I'll never buy Power Pool, but if anybody knows what Power Pool is, or maybe it's like a pool stick that has power on it. I don't know. So yeah, Power Pool is our unknown weird crypto of the day. All right. Let's get back. Let's get to the comments. Here. All right. There we go. We'll get rid of that. We'll bring it up. Jordan, first in the house with a hello, Candace. Hope you're well. Doing as good as I can do. All right. Let's see here. Jonathan says, I'm not late and I'm not even on vacation. Awesome. Must have been a shock going back to work today after vacation. I know that first day is never fun. Now, let's see. Mohammed says, hi, everyone. We got Mary in the house with a hello. That means, guys, it's time to hit the like button. While you guys are hitting that like button, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. That is good. I think I did taste some blue, so I'm pretty sure a few of you have hit the like button. And before we move beyond Mary, a little bit of housekeeping. So we have, not this Friday, but the following Friday, that's our 4,000 sub celebration open to close live stream. So we're going to be on the air for I think it's roughly 7 hours, maybe 7.5 hours, I think, because there's 15 minutes on both sides. So yeah, it's going to be epic. I'm looking forward to it. And I still put this out. Nobody's actually taking me up on the offer, but if anybody does want to pop on and say hi or anything like that during the stream, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know ahead of time so that I can plan it. Excuse me. Whew. That must have been a gassy coffee. Also, we got you guys got a chance to earn another market close on Friday. So if you guys want me to do a market close this Friday, 4 supers before the end of the stream, and we'll do it. Simple as that. All right, let's get back to the comments. Good Vibes is here with a hi. And we got a hello all from Sammer. And Jungle Eddie is saying RY and SCHD up 1.3%. Yeah, there's a few. There's a few up there. And yeah, Royal Bank was definitely one. I noticed them right away. So nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Jonathan says the only chips I own are potato. Do your worst, Biden. Munch, munch. Well, your phone has a chip in it. Your computer has a chip in it. Your iPad has, or I'm just assuming you have an iPad. You could have a Samsung something, a Samsung tablet. They all, yeah, chips are in there. Even your car has a chip in it. So, you own more chips than I think you own, Jonathan. But those chips that you're mentioning are definitely much more tasty. Roku says Amazon is discounted for Prime Day. There's good deals. There's good deals on Amazon. I think yesterday and today. I think it's a 2-day event, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. For some reason, I think it's a 2-day event. I do know for sure. There was deals going on yesterday. We did buy a few things. We did buy a few things for sure. Stan is in the house with a hello all. Jonathan says 1, 2, Mary's coming for you. 3, 4, better hit like some more. 5, 6, she's got some tricks. 7, 8, don't be late. 9, 10, hit like again. Actually, if they hit like twice, you actually end up unliking when you hit it the second time. So just going to put that out there. So only hit it once or 3 times. Hit it an odd number of times. Don't hit it an even number of times, but odd. As long as you're odd with the like button, we're good. We are absolutely good. Oh, we got about 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Now, Mary's appreciating the poem. Absolutely. I would not. I think it's a good poem. All right. I guess with 4 minutes, we could start talking a little bit about CPI. So yesterday, the CPI came out, and well, let's take a gander at it. I'm just going to move over here. What is this? Oh, it's a stock market open. Oh, meet Kevin market close. All right. Well, it's the wrong market close, but that's fine. I actually want to. I'll show you guys a little site here. So this is a report, and this is the Canada calendar. It is on tradingeconomics.com. They have all of these financial calendars. So if you ever want to go in and get some raw data. So here we go. So CPI right over here. So as you can see, we came in at 2.7% year over year for inflation. This came out yesterday. We were forecasting 2.9%. So we absolutely knocked it out of the park. That's fantastic. Core was a bit different. So we had actually forecast 1.6 core, but core was at 1.9. So that is that's a bad. That's I don't want to say that's bad. That's just 1 point in there. So we got one really good point and we got a bad point, but overall it's still pretty good. So when we look at month over month, and this is fantastic. They're forecasting 0.2. We got negative 0.1. So that's not too shabby. And when we looked at core month over month, 0.4 is the forecast. We came in at 0.1. So when I mentioned up here, looking at that 1.6 to 1.9, that looked bad. But when you looked at it from just the month over a month, you can actually see core did move in the right direction. So definitely a good thing there. So to me, that's fantastic. That's really, really good to see that that's happening. And as you guys can see on Friday, actually, on the 19th, we got the PPI coming out. So that'll be our next piece of data. But here's the thing. There's a lot of hype out there now about, just a second, I'm going to get rid of this because it's almost bell time. And I'm also going to get the bell a little closer. There's a lot of hype out there now. A lot of people are starting to say, we're probably going to get another rate cut in July. Now, I've adamantly thought that we probably shouldn't, but there's a lot of pressure out there, and inflation does seem to be moving in the right direction. So I'm I'm still thinking our next rate cut is in September. I don't want to flip-flop. I hate flip-flopping, but I think there's a chance. I didn't a week ago, I didn't think there was a chance. Now I actually do think there might be a chance that we get our thing next week. And just to show you guys over here on this as well, here we go, right here, Wednesday, July 24th. Whoops. Right here, Bank of Canada interest rate decision. Now, the forecast is currently 4.75%. So they're currently forecast to not cut. So, that's where everybody is kind of at. But be interesting to see if that number does change before we get there, especially after people have had time to digest that CPI. All right, it's time. It is time. Here we go. All right. Whew. Market's closed, folks. Market is closed. Oh, let's get rid of I really meant to be big screen when I did that. Oh, well, we had a little screen, bell ringing, not too shabby. All right. Jay says, great timing to buy HHL. So healthcare and ZAG bonds just in time for the upcoming rate cut. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Well, I mean, here's the thing. If we get this rate cut, so let's say we get the rate cut here in July, well, that might have a knockdown effect, because right now, with one rate cut, we're not seeing some of these things. Like, we know that companies like utilities, REITs are going to benefit big time. Even the telecommunications are going to benefit big time. Anybody carrying a lot of debt will benefit big time from rate cuts. Well, because it lowers their servicing, so it makes sense. But here's the thing. With one rate cut going from 5 to 4.75, it's really not enough. It's not enough to really get to see some effects. And you also have to keep in mind that there is a lag. So when you make a cut, so when you cut a rate, there is a lag before you actually start to see that effect on it. So that was one of the reasons as well that I was thinking, skip July, do it in September. Now, the reason I don't say August is because there's no rate meeting in August. Now, the one in September is pretty early. For some reason, I'm thinking September 4th but I'm 99% sure I'm wrong on that, but I know it's pretty early in September. So that's, yeah. And here's the thing. So let's say we do get it in July, I would be really shocked to see another one in September at that point. I think it's going to be either or situation. So we'll either get it in July or we'll get it in September, but it's not going to be both. All right. Mario says, good afternoon. And Jonathan wants to know, when did we cross 4K subs? Well, let me show you. Just give me a second here. Boop-a-doo. I have a spreadsheet for this. I keep a tracker here. All right. And all right, so this here is my daily sub tracker. Yep, I do have it. And here it is. So July 15th, we went from 3997 to 4004. So it was July 15th that we went through it. And so this is actually I have every single day how many subs have come or gone basically from the beginning of the channel. So the very first, actually here it is, the very first day the channel was active, we got 26 subs. So 26 subs. Oh my God, just a second. I was right, September 4th. And I was like, I'm 99% sure I'm wrong, but I was right. Okay, thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. But yeah, so I looked at every single, everything. So, I know. So for example, all I have to do is look for the yellow. So back in September 26th of 2022, that's when I got my first 1,000. So, and over here's the 2001, June 7th of, 2023. And here's the nice thing here. Actually, the 3,000 was this year. It was in February. So it's getting faster. So each 1,000 has taken less time. In fact, believe it or not, I have a spreadsheet for that too. Actually, just a small little thing. I put it on the front of my main thing. So here's milestones. So to get to 1,000 subs, it took me 355 days. My next 1,000 took me 254 days, then 247 for the next 1,000, 157 for this one. So if I do the exact same thing I did last time, that means that by December we're looking at the 5,000. So we're looking at probably, no doubt, because these numbers are getting smaller, because as you get bigger, you grow faster, and we're looking at the 5,000 before the end of the year. So it's happening. We have a sub snowball. We'll call it that. The sub snowball. All right. Let's get back to the folks here. Let's see, where was I at? Right here. Sophie is in the house. Hey, crew. It's been too long. Hello, Sophie. It's always good to see you. Yes, I don't remember the last time I saw you. Always fun. I always love it when I see a name that I haven't seen in a while, but I still remember them. I'm just like, oh my God, it's like an old friend coming to visit. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's like if I had crumpets and tea, I would offer them or something like that. Bleak says, hey, all. And yeah, Jonathan says the subs are compounding. Yeah, the sub snowball. The sub snowball. That's what we're gonna call it. But no, it's pretty darn cool. I'm really enjoying it. That's one of the neat things. Like when you start a channel, it's kind of interesting with YouTube. When you start a channel, it's that situation where you have everybody saying, well, you got to get to 1,000 subs. You got to get there. You got to get there to get monetized. But most people don't make it. Most people fail. Most people quit. Most people can't put in that year of working for free. But I don't know. I had a goal. I wanted to do it, and I'm like, I'm getting, it's, I want to get paid. Yes, I want to make money. Yes, but I also love communicating. I love, I don't want to say helping, but it is helping. I love just sort of helping people with information. I love, teaching and sharing information and all of that fun stuff. So for me, it worked. It worked well. I liked it. It was something I was definitely interested in. So here we are. We're here. We've been going strong. Now I'll tell you. Well, let's show you. I'm not going to just read stuff off. Because I love to be transparent with my spreadsheets. Let's go back to the live streams here. So, and I have not updated this last one. So the weekend one has more than 57 viewers, actually. But yeah, so this one that we're doing right now, actually, that's a market close. I haven't even added the weekend one. So we're actually on live stream 194. So 194. So that means, our big one next Friday is going to be really darn close to the 200th live stream. So yeah, that's kind of going to be interesting. Huh. That, cause yeah, Cause yeah, okay. So like right here, this is this week. And then we have this. All right, so that takes us to 196. That puts it at 197, right? But let's say if you guys earn one on Friday, that puts it at 198. Let's see if we do another one for Monday, like an earn, that would put us at 199. Yeah. And interestingly, well, yeah, we'll get close. We'll get darn close. I was trying to think if there was any way. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Now, technically, I don't count in here. I don't actually count the exclusive live streams that we do for the channel members. So that's interesting. Speaking of exclusive channel member live streams, we got one coming up Thursday night. So there is voting going on the community tab. If you have not yet voted, be sure to do so. Right now, it looks like what is winning. Let me take a look, give you guys an idea of what that stream is going to have. Right now, we have investing with all-time highs. And I think there was a bunch of other little things tied into that, like profit taking and tax efficiency. I think all of that, but that's basically what the theme of the live stream is. And of course, the channel members come with tons of questions. So, it ends up going wherever you guys want to take it. That one is always fun. Oh, yeah, that's tomorrow night. I was just like, when is that? Oh, yeah, Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And soon enough, the channel members also get to choose the final video of the month. So I'm going to start looking for ideas for that very, very soon. Because I want to see what you guys are going to make me do this month. It could be anything. It could be anything. That is for sure. But yeah, and so that's just giving you an idea. Yeah, we're up there pretty high. And video-wise, since I told you about that, on the video front, the video that is coming out tomorrow is video number 3. Or sorry, well, tomorrow for the channel members, but Friday for everybody else. That's video number 311. So there, yeah, it's getting up there. I just look at it and I'm like, holy cow! There's like, it's like I've got a whole giant catalog. It's like I could almost go into syndication with it. So that'll be interesting. All right. All right, let's go back to big screen here for a moment. Y Video says, hi all. I use this opportunity to add some SOX, so semiconductor sector ETF. I sold some Valero, so VLO, to finance it. Yeah, interesting. Now, I will point out the next 0 to 100K challenge is going to be our summer rebalance. So we're doing, the goal is to do a rebalance every single quarter. And it may not be a big one, but there were some bigger changes that I did make in this one. So it could be interesting. And the funny thing is, when people sit back and think, okay, oh, you made some changes. So you definitely probably sold off some stinkers and all of that fun stuff. It doesn't necessarily work that way. So I will give you guys a hint. I did sell a stock that I love. I sold a stock I love. And they weren't a stinker. They were actually in the green. They were in the green. So, but there was a reasoning behind it. And we'll talk about that in the video, of course. So all of that fun stuff. All right. Whew. It's been rather humid here lately. So even my my studio right now, it's a little warm. So it's like there's a part of me that's like, okay, summer, you've had your run. I'm ready for the fall, but we'll have to see. It should be fun. I'm still hoping, knock on wood, that Max is able to get together a smaller get together in Ottawa in the fall for Blossom. I think that would be a fantastic, because I would certainly love to get out and meet a few of you guys who are able to make it. Oh, that would be so cool. That would be absolutely cool. We'll have to bring banana bread or find a way. I don't know how that's going to look yet. I have no idea what dates. I also don't know if he was 100% serious, but I believe he is, because when they were setting up the big summer ones this year, when they were asking for them, a lot of people from Ottawa were chiming up saying, Ottawa, Ottawa, Ottawa. So I was actually shocked when Ottawa didn't get selected, but what can you do? Speaking of Blossom, Blossom is that social media app for investors. If you haven't checked it out yet, there is a link down below. It's pretty cool. There's it's a good place you can go get ideas and just sort of chat the finance chat. If you do go over, follow me. I'll follow you back. And if by any chance, if any of you have followed me and I have not followed you back, holler at me, because it's not intentional. It's not intentional. I might have missed the follow, because I do get a lot of messages over there. But yeah, anyway, it's all pretty darn cool. All right, we're gonna, in about a minute, we'll take our final look at the market, see where everything ended up for the day. I'm pretty confident everything ended in the red. I have not looked yet, but oh, you guys probably know. It's probably definitely in the red. So we'll definitely have to see how this is going to look here. All right. 414. Holy banana bread. It is time. We'll have a sip of coffee. At 4:15, we're going to go look at the market. Oh, that's good. That is good. I do like TradingView. Um, it's just got so much stuff in it. And even the free version has so much stuff that you guys can do. So if you're ever looking for stocks, I highly recommend their screeners. Their screeners are really, really good. But all right. In the meantime, we won't. I'm not going to plug TradingView. I get nothing for I have no kind of a commission structure or anything with it. I just like it. Um, all right, let's go over here. Oh, we'll leave here. We'll head over. We'll take our final little look and see how the market ended up here. Once again, no difference really. Everything completely in the red. TSX down 0.63%, S&P 500 down 1.39, Nasdaq down 2.94, gold down almost 0.5%. Silver though, oh gosh, down 3.14%. WTI looking good, up 2.12%. And Bitcoin, yeah, Bitcoin not having the best day. But considering this is where it was on the weekend, I think we can take that. I think we can take that and be perfectly fine. Over on the heat map, as pointed out earlier, Royal Bank, one of the winners of the day, and also Enbridge, but we can actually remove and see more of the winners. Get rid of all the red folk, and let's actually get rid of the mild winners. We'll go to the bigger winners. So look at this. Bell, I missed that. 1.35% up. TELUS up 0.72%. You got Royal Bank. Great. I was going to say great. That's because of the GW together. Great West Life. Power Corporation of Canada, Suncor. Yeah, look at this. There's a few up there for sure. You got WFG here, so that's West Fraser Timber. This was a company that at the beginning of the pandemic, they spiked big time because of this huge demand for lumber as everybody was locked at home and deciding to do work projects around the house that required lumber. So definitely interesting. They are spiking again. I do think lumber is going to be something that is in high demand. This is one of my favorites. I also like there's an Acadian lumber as well that I like. So definitely some good lumber companies as well. So not a bad day. Not a bad day on this side of the market. A little bit bad for everybody else, but not for these guys. All right. And of course I was gonna say, and of course the US. Nope. And let's do the same thing here. Let's get rid of all of the losers and take a look and see if we got some winners here. So let's see. One of these RBO ones, BMO, RBO, BMO, ZLU. I'm not even sure which one this is. Let's take a look. Oh, that's the low volatility US equity ETF. Okay, fair enough. Let's see, XRE, HHL. That was mentioned earlier as well. There's a national bank one down there. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Oh, here's an iShares one. I do like iShares. What one is this? Let's just pick because I don't know. I don't know what that is. Let's go. This is the core MSCI Global Equity DI units. Okay, not too shabby. All right, and of course on the U.S. side, once again, I mean tech hit pretty darn hard. And here, let's take a look here for a second. I'm kind of curious to know, is NVIDIA still going down in the after hours? Look at this. Yeah, it went down a little bit further. It was at 117.81 in the post right now. It's at 117.68. So we still have a little bit of movement to the downside. Not too good. All right. And finally, cryptocurrency. Like I said, pretty much not a lot of green, but we did have XRP. Now, there are some green down here. And these are coins. I'm going to stick to the outer edge because hopefully I know what this coin is. I'm going to click on it and we'll see what it is. World coin. That's funny. So World coin is that one where I think they had talked about having retinal scans on it. It is, yeah, it's an interesting idea. And, OpenAI has a connection to it as well. So, we'll have to leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. I don't know about it, but I know I don't want to scan my eyes on a coin, or I don't know exactly how that scan would work, actually, to be honest. But yeah, World coin, fun. Over on the Discord. Oh, I thought this was funny. Paul shared a picture of some salmon in the river. I make this a little bigger. Yeah, they look like they were cooked a little bit. So, but they look nice. A little bit of butter, a little bit of butter. Take the butter to the river, and you can have yourself a treat. That's for sure. And over here, YouTube schedule, just to sort of hit on that. I'll get to the chat here in a second. Actually, let's remove something here. For one, we've already got to this point, so we can remove these. Bang, bang, bang. Seems like I'm always doing this on here, but the next thing up is the channel membership live stream. I'm going to remove this, the next milestone. We don't know what it's, well, I'll leave the next milestone, but we're going to change it to 5,000. So the next milestone, 5,000 subs, TBA. There we go. Because we already have the 4,000 here next week. So that is starting at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So basically 15 minutes before the market opens. So for those of you in in BC, that's what is that, 6:15 in the morning? So those of you from BC who show up at the beginning of the show, that'll be dedication. That'll be absolute dedication. But it's a long show, and I imagine people will be coming and going, popping in, popping out, and a lot of people will catch it on the replay. So that will be a lot of fun. All right, let's get back to chat. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. Has anyone ever tried private credit on Wealthsimple? No, I've not tried it. That's kind of interesting. Huh. Very cool. I don't know how it works, so I probably should look into it because I imagine I'll get asked about it again. So definitely interesting. But no, I've never tried it. Let's see. Jonathan says, I just saw on your screen my BRK.B hit an all-time high. Oh, fantastic. GID is here for the crumpets and tea. Oh, yeah. Gotta get the crumpets and teas out. All right. This is a big no. This is a big no, Jonathan. I love your ideas, but no, we're not going to do a parachuting live stream. That would basically just be me screaming for 5 minutes. And then, hoping in the process, I pull the cord too. So otherwise, it'll be a very popular stream if people find out somebody died on it. But actually, I think if somebody dies on a stream, I think YouTube will pull it down once they find out, or once they figure out that happened. I think there's I think it's against the community standards. Like, you're not allowed to die on your stream, something like that. So yeah. Anyway, not the best idea. And here's the funny thing. Right now, I have no ideas other than I know that's not the idea. I was thinking the other day, and I was thinking, okay, well, what can I do? I mean, how do you top an open to close live stream? One idea I had is maybe we would celebrate it with a week of open closes and market closes and open. So there would be 10 live streams in a single week. That could happen. So, we're in the early stages. We're not even close to the point of being able to commit because, I can come up with an idea and just say, okay, that's it. But then, a better idea might come tomorrow. So we'll get this one finished. We'll get this one done, and then we'll figure out another one. So that's going to be fun. And the only thing I know is I don't want to repeat. So anything so at the 1,000, I did a drinking stream, and I don't drink. So that was probably amusing. At the 2000, I did the Hot Ones challenge. At the 3000s, you guys pretty much let me off pretty easy. I made a parody news video. And this one here, I think will probably be the toughest out of all of them. Not as in tough, but tough as in the fact that most time consuming. So, we'll have to do it. So, in other words, for the 5,000, I'm not going to be drinking. I'm not going to be doing a Hot Ones challenge. I'm not going to be making a parody video, and I probably won't be doing an all day stream. So we'll have to figure out something else. I'm not going to juggle knives or jump out of planes. Those are the things that we're gonna put that down as things I will not do. So what can we say? What can we say? Now, here's an interesting thought. September. So in September, we have there's this whole thing. Everybody talks about September being a very dead month. Like, oh my God, the market's generally down in September. But I have to dispute. I do have to dispute December. And what I would dispute about September is that you have to realize there have been some really huge black sheep type events. Black sheep. I always call it black sheep. It's black swan. There have been some huge black swan events in September that have really hurt the market when they've happened. One example, 9/11, big, huge example. That tanked the market. And when you have some of these really massive ones that happened all in the same month, that month statistically will actually look a lot worse than it really is. And I think September has a bad rap. So this year, we're heading towards an election. It's going to be, I'm going to say September's not going to be bad. I'm actually thinking as we move towards the end of July, things should start picking up. And I think August will even be okay. I think we'll have an okay August. And I think the fall's going to be really good. Probably up till maybe November. After November, though, we'll have to reevaluate, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Okay, Amanda says, oh, the Hot Ones one was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that one. If I could redo the Hot Ones, I would have probably put more sauce than I did. I mean, I put sauce in it, but I probably... I've watched a few people where they're like doing the last dab on every single one. I probably should have done that. It would have been a bit more torture for me, but it would have been absolutely funny. What about doing some edibles? No, I don't think I'm going to do edibles. I've never done edibles. So I think, I think that would not work out well. Let's see. Yep, the Hot Ones one was hilarious. Yeah, and that actually, I think that one still holds the record for the biggest super I've ever received. Because I got a super for like, what was it, like $29.90, something crazy like that. But that was pretty much the biggest super ever. So I was just like, that's because somebody was really amused by that one. And I wouldn't blame them. I mean, I had tears coming into my eyes and I was breathing fire and making all kinds of sounds. So, yeah, what can you say? It happens. But yeah, it'd be fun. I don't know what I'm going to do for the 5,000. I really want to find, this is the thing. I kind of always want to do something creative. So if it's something I've never done before on the channel, that really attracts me. I'm like, okay, let's do something really neat. So, for example, with the open to close, I need to come up with a bunch of stuff. So one of the things I need to come up with, first of all, is I need to make little videos. So for example, if I have to use the washroom, I'm not going to just leave the empty seat there. So I need to have like a quick little 5-minute video that I can play. So I'm thinking what I might do is maybe even like do some little bit of little tutorials, or just a little talk on something, or maybe, for example, I go in and show how a particular screener works or something like that. And I film that ahead of time. So then I just pull that up while I go Will I go have my little bio break and come back? So that's one of the thoughts. So yeah, it's going to be interesting because I have to sort of juggle things. And it's going to be one of these things that's like, okay, if I've got a 5-minute bio break video, I got 5 minutes. That's it. Because otherwise, at the end of that 5 minutes, it's an empty seat. So, yeah. So I have to, there'll be a lot of time management. I think it will be absolutely, it'll be very fun. I can't wait. I can't wait. It'll be like live TV where they have to sort of plan everything ahead. So I can't wait. All right. Larry says natural gas fell off the cliff. Time to start buying whole till winter coming. Not a bad idea. Yeah. I mean, when you start to look at things like oil, natural gas, they do tend to go up in the fall, provided we actually have a cold winter. Like every so often, we will have a situation. So there was what was it? Not last winter, but the winter before that. Uh, Everything just didn't happen the way it was supposed to because Europe ended up having this really mild winter. So that all of the giant spike in demand that was expected never came, and that tanked oil that year. But I think this year we could be in for. I think we're going to be in for an interesting year nonetheless. Now I know right now. I did read something, and I don't know how big of an impact this is right now, but I know there were a couple of gas and oil fields that had to be shut down because of a wildfire. So little things like that. And keep in mind, if we have, and everybody is predicting that we're going to have a pretty intense hurricane season, that means there's going to be a lot of disruption to the oil wells in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's another little impact that could come in, especially if we start getting some of these monster hurricanes, like your Cat 3s, 4s, and 5s coming through the Gulf. That could very well impact the price of oil as well. So that's one of the things, and that's kind of an interesting thing with oil. Probably out of all assets out there, oil probably has more catalysts that can affect the price than most. So, everything from political to weather. So definitely something to keep in mind. All right. Bismarcky is in the house. Good afternoon, all. Better late than never. Yeah, absolutely. Always good to see everybody. Time for some coffee. Oh, that's good. That hits the spot. So that I like. I did want to I wanted to also talk a tiny bit about with the Discord. There is a channel suggestion, a video suggestion area. Let me just show you. Going to bring it all up here. So if you are, if there's a particular video you want to see. So for example, you're like, oh gosh, Candace, you need to do some passive income ETFs again. It's time. Well, you can come over here and you can do a requested video. So you can sort of drop in here and drop your ideas. No guarantee they'll get done, but they're, I will look at them, and chances are, if you come up with a great idea, I'm probably going to be game. So I know one thing I haven't done in a while is any sector specific list videos. It's been a while since I've done some of them. So maybe there's a sector specific video you want to do. Maybe you were like, okay, I want to know, I want to know the best financial stocks in Canada. What are the best financial ETFs, or maybe the best financial high dividend stocks. So, we got all of that we can certainly do. And as we were in there, look at this. As we were in here, John Natural came in with a roundup of the worst market drops would be interesting. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, and there's been some doozies all the way. It's interesting. I did watch a video on this the other day, and they were thorough. They actually started with they started all the way back in Finland with the whole tulip craze and how that crashed, and why it even became a thing. So that was kind of an interesting video. It went from there to the depression to the housing crisis. But yeah, that's not a bad. Now I will say that is the type of video that gets very small amount of views on the channel. Whenever I do a video like that, like I did this one video, I loved the video. I thought it was awesome. and I thought it was a great video. It was about it was basically about China, about about Japan's market, the whole giant crash they had back in the day, and I thought it was a great video, but nobody watched it. I mean, it got very few views, but it's still one that I'm glad I made because I thought it was great. What can I say? What can I say? It's like, and I know ones like that, they sit there and someday somebody's searching for, stuff on Japan and they may see it and they'll watch it. So that's kind of what it's there for. It's one of those, but I did like it. I also did a great one as well that I really loved on the VIX. Because a lot of people don't understand the VIX, how it works and all that fun stuff. So I made a video on it, an explainer, but yeah, it doesn't get many views. So that is a great idea. It won't get many views, but I still kind of want to make it. So not a bad idea at all. Not a bad idea at all. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right. Let's go back to Big Me. Let's go back to Big Me. All right. So chat's a little quiet today. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. We can have kind of a slower day. Nothing wrong with that. So yeah, if you guys got nothing to talk about, we can always end this a little bit sooner today than normal. But if you get your questions, throw them in. Throw them in. We'll do them. We'll answer them. Give me something to talk about, and we'll keep going. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to have myself another sip of coffee. Ooh, nice. Let's see. Fisker hit 0.004. Well, I don't even know what Fisker is, but let's see if we can find out. Fisker. I have a feeling that if I just type it into my my normal thing, I don't think I'm going to find it, but maybe I will. Fisker. Oh, here it is. Fisker. All right, let's take a look here. 4 cents. What exactly is Fisker? It's a U.S. stock, U.S. penny stock. So let's see here. Okay, so they manufacture, market, lease, and sell electronic vehicles. All right, so okay, they got 3 segments: the white space, the value segment, and the conservative premium. Okay, interesting. I have not heard of Fisker, so let's take a look at them though a little bit longer. That's their 5 days. Let's go their 1 year and see. Oh, so at one point they were worth $6. Holy cow, they've come. Yeah, oh boy. I have a feeling that they're not going to be profitable. I have just a feeling. Let's just check it out here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. A negative 491.57%. Return on assets. Oh, my gosh. I would not invest in Fisker. Unless, of course, you don't like money. If you don't like money and you want to, practice magic, it's like, oh, watch me make my portfolio disappear. Fisker might be the stock for you then, but gosh, yeah, and this is I'm not very confident with Fisker. Not very confident. I have a feeling too that Larry is not like pro Fisker. I doubt it. Y Video says this week I let go of my Chorus Entertainment CJR.B. I shouldn't rely on the analysts on this one. Almost a 98% loss. I saw a news article, I think it was earlier today, that said that the best interest right now for Chorus would be to declare bankruptcy. So you're probably right on that. I'm not feeling any confidence in Chorus at all. All right, FHS says, wondering how often you rebalance your TFSA account. Not the challenge. Not sure I saw your latest, which was 1 year ago. I'm interested how you analyze this and how you consider market conditions. I do a rebalance. I mean, I'm a quarterly rebalancer. That doesn't mean that I actually, like, I can come in each quarter and when it's time to do my rebalance, I can look at it and I can say, you know what? I'm happy with exactly the way it is and do nothing. So that is one option that can come out of a rebalance, is no changes at all. But for the most part, I think most changes tend to be fairly small. Like I may get rid of a stock or I may make a strategic move to a different stock. But for the most part, I try not to do it a lot. If everything is working, I tend to let it work. I tend to not try to, because there's this whole saying that, your portfolio gets, it's like a bar of soap, right? The more you touch it, the smaller it gets. So that it's not a wrong thing. So I do tend to be a little bit on the conservative side when it comes, of course, to rebalancing. It's just one of those things. So I will also do something, I call it passive rebalancing. So with a passive rebalance is basically where I look at my stocks. I know what percentage, range I want them to be in. So when I am doing a passive, so if I get a bunch of dividends in, I'm not going to just reinvest them in the same stock, especially if they're at a higher portfolio percentage, like especially if I'm sort of over diversified into them. So I move those dividends to lower stocks, to stocks that I want to beef up my exposure to. And here's the other thing too, just to sort of put this in there. When I'm looking too, because I will take a lot of things into consideration. So when I get a big bunch of dividends, so let's just say, for example, let's say I got $1,000 in dividends. If I had $1,000 in dividends, I'm going to look. First of all, I'm going to look at my portfolio. I'm going to look at where I need stronger exposure. And then amongst those, I'm going to look and say, okay, are any of those currently in a correction? Because if I have a stock that I want a better exposure to, and they happen to be down so that I can actually average down my adjusted cost base, they're a no-brainer. They're going to get those dividends for that simple reason. So I call that passive rebalancing. I do that every time I get dividends. I'm always passively rebalancing. So some people love dripping. You'll hear it a lot. People are like, okay, I am dripping. So that's basically dividend reinvesting plan, DRIP. So in that case, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people love the idea that every month they get enough dividends to buy one more stock in, whatever the dividend producing stock is, or maybe they can buy 10 more depending on how many they have. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I have no problems with that. For me, I'm more concerned with, by doing passive reinvesting between balances, I think it helps me when it comes to the balance not have to do as much. And hopefully sometimes I get more of those. Here's a rebalance where I don't have to do a single thing. I like that. All right. Sophie says, are they in bankruptcy right now? Oh, well, there we go. Like I said, good way to throw your money away. I'm going to jump ahead just a tiny bit here. The banana bread company. I said the banana bread bed. No, the banana bread company is in here with a $2 dividend. Thank you very much, banana bread company. And by the way, that's one of the three if you guys do want a Friday market close. So we're one quarter of the way there. Jackie says, LMR had a reverse split yesterday. Why would they do that? All right. Well, let's look at LMR first of all. Oh, I still have it up. Good. LMR. So Lamico Metals. All right. 33 cents. Yeah, you don't normally, with something in a penny stock area, you don't normally see a lot of splitting. But one situation where people will do a reverse split is if you needed a specific share value to get onto a listing or onto an index that you want to get onto, some people will do that. So I have seen, for example, Hut 8 recently did one of these reverse share splits. And I believe that was to get themselves listed on, I don't know if it was, I think it was at one of the American exchanges, if I remember correctly. But sometimes you will do that because in this case, you're basically making your shares worth more. And that sometimes is like some exchanges say, you need to have a share value of at least this. And that does happen from time to time. Now, I don't know exactly why it happened with Lamico, but it could have very well been that there may have been an index or something that they wanted to be a part of that required them to be a little more expensive. And we wouldn't be talking, of course, like were there a penny stock, it's not going to be like, it's not the TSX or the TSX Venture that they're talking about. Well, actually, I don't know what the bare minimum price you need to get on the TSX Venture. I kind of want to know that now. So let's see here. Sophie says, stay far, far away if it's Fisker Ocean Electric SUV maker. Yeah, exactly. I got that from it as well. And here's Larry saying, I used to trade Fisker when it was moving between $9 to $16. Yeah, well, hopefully, though, you got out before it had some of its epic crashing. We have Vineet in the house. Hello, Vineet. Good to see you. What do you think of S-Max? All right, let's take a gander at good old S-Max. All right. So this here is, of course, another one of the Hamilton. I am a fan of Hamilton. I will say that right off the bat. And if you look at this one here, they haven't been around that long. So since basically October of 2023, we've had a clear shot up, and that's not too shabby. Because when you look at it, you're also getting a big 10% dividend. So that's huge. That's a good total return right now. Now, when you look at them, let's see here. Where is their? No, they don't have anything here. Let's actually go to their page. A lot of times with these, I always I always recommend go to the page. Let's see, X Max Hamilton. Here we go. There we go. There we go. So this is perfect. So this here is going to give us everything we could possibly want. So here's a good idea. So this here is a, they basically hold a little bit of everything going across multi-sectors. So you'll see right now, they've got everything from communications, consumer discretionary, consumer staples, energy, financials, healthcare, industrials, materials, real estate, technology, utilities. They got a little bit of everything. So it's not too, hey, I don't need that. It's not too shabby at all. So you'll see it's all and they're all American stocks, so U.S. equity. But you can sort of see like their biggest holdings right now are NVIDIA, Broadcom, Apple, let's see, Lilly or Eli Lilly, Tesla, Alphabet, Adobe. These are good stocks. These are good stocks. So I do like this. I think as long as we stay in a bear market, when we go back to what was that? We'll go back here. Just give me a second here. SMAX. All right. I think I left the original page. So when we go back to this and you look at it, we'll just do the 1 year for now. It's going to be on an upward trajectory. Once it gets to the point that it starts to go into a bear market, then these prices are going to come back down. And that's when you'll have to ask yourself the question. Do you want to hold on to it going into a bear market? You'll still have your income. And if you're holding it as an income stock, then yeah, you probably are fine with holding it going into a bear market. But if you're like me and you want the total returns, you may downsize. You may hold a few, but you may downsize and wait for the bear market to sort of get itself worked out. All right, now we got a bunch of action happening over here. Just give me a second here. We got a super sticker from Mary. And of course, hit the like buttons, folks. Hit the like buttons. And thank you very much, Mary. So that takes us to the 2/4 of the way. And then bang, in comes Larry with a $2, excuse me, $2 super sticker and burgers. Ooh, now I kind of want burgers for supper. That would be good. And that's absolutely fantastic. So we're there. We're almost there. We're one away. So, I'm sure you guys are really starting to pop yourselves up and becoming very active now. So I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Oh, speaking of Larry, when EVs and lithium were placed like 3 years ago, it was popular to trade used to follow Tesla. Absolutely. Now, one of the things you have to always remember too, lithium is not going to be, the big player in batteries forever. There is a lot of other technologies being worked on. Now, some do still involve lithium, but to a lesser degree. And one of the big things, and part of the issues with lithium is not super energy efficient. and it's also very heavy. So lithium batteries are very weighty. So if you think about it, just having a heavy battery means you have more weight in that car to power. So, lithium is not the best material for a battery. So there's a lot of things. There's like some sodium batteries that are out there. There's other things that are in the works. So, for now though, I mean, lithium will probably still be popular for a while. When I say a while, like think midterm, don't think long term. So always be a little bit careful and pay attention. That's why it's always important to look at the news. If you hear something like, or if you're just on YouTube and you see a video on, a new battery technology, you probably want to watch it if you're a lithium investor, right? Just to keep yourself abreast. All right, and down here, we'll get back to where we were, but down here we got Y videos coming in with the super sticker. Congratulations, guys! You guys have earned a market close on Friday. Woohoo! Another gateway to the weekend, I like to call it. So thank you, Y Videos. You rock as always. All right. And now we're up to Sophie. What are your thoughts on the RS real estate split core? All right. So RS, I'll bring it up here for you guys. So RS is a real estate split core. So they hold a lot of different REITs and things like that. But let's take a look at their 1 year. You can sort of see they're kind of following the same trajectory as most of the REITs are, and they are starting to recover. And that's fantastic. I used to love this. This used to be sort of one of my favorite little avenues for sort of getting a good exposure into real estate. And you'll see they have a pretty darn good dividend yield of 13%. So that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby at all. And this will, of course, come up. Now, you will, of course, with this and with any split core, you're going to run into things like return of capital. And for that reason, you want to hold these in a registered account. So a TFSA or a RRSP or RD, or an RDSP or a RESP or any of your registered accounts. So that's kind of cool. Now, this also now has to compete with. I'll show you guys this again. I don't know if Sophie has seen it, but as I mentioned, I do love Hamilton, and Hamilton now has their brand new REIT Maximizer. So this one has been doing really fantastic. So let's just take a look here. It's brand new. So it has started. It's gone from $16, and we're talking right now since June 20th to now. So less than a month, it's gone from $16 to $17.20. So it is moving in the right direction. And what I like about this is it has started at the bottom. It started at the bottom, so it's got a lot of trajectory going up. Now, we don't yet have a distribution yet because, like I said, it's brand new. We're still waiting on what that yield is going to be. I'm going to guess that it's probably going to be between 13 and 14. So it will probably have a similar yield. Well, let's get a drink here. Yeah, you'd think I had frog legs for lunch. It will have a similar yield to RS, but I think right now in the early phase, it looks like it's going to have the bigger total return out of the two of them. But here's the argument. And here's an argument for RS. RS has been around for a lot longer, so you kind of know what to expect. But the one thing is with RS, and let's go back to RS. Now, I think RS has actually been pretty good. Like some split cores, they will get to a situation where they will suspend the dividend from time to time. It's kind of part of the structure and the way split cores work. But it's kind of I guess as an investor, it can be a little bit annoying. So let's see, July, June, May, April, March. Yes, they seem to have been okay in the last recent. I don't see too many. I don't see any misses. So I think this may be one of those few that actually has done really, really well. Another one, ENS has also done really well, but they actually, and it's funny, ENS, I didn't think they skipped any, but I actually found, I think when I did my split core video, I think I found 3 that they had skipped. And I was just like, oh, interesting. So just something to keep in mind. So yeah, I do like RS. I think RS will do well. And I think RMAX, I think either or will be, you'll still do well. That's to me is the good part about it. you just have to sort of decide which horse, or you could hook up to both horses if you really want to. But I'm pretty bullish, I think, on both. Anything real estate, as the rate cuts developed, as they deepen, I think that's going to be a sector that's going to be one to watch. I will. I'll give you another example here. So one of the other stocks that I have in the challenge is TF. So Timber Creek Financial. So they act a lot like a REIT. In fact, their dividends are considered interest. All right. Now, if you look at them right now, they're at 753. But let's just go to the last 3 months. So they were doing fine, but then they had this little, we had that little bit of market gooey that happened, but now they've already started pulling themselves back up. Now, this is another one that I am very keen on, and I've shown you guys this before, but normally, I'll go to the 5 years so you can see it. You can see normally they usually hang out around, 980, 970 in that area. And that's where they kind of designed, and that's where they're going to go back to, because you can see even after the big pandemic drop, they got back up there. And then they had the bear market, the rate cuts. But as the bear market's done, once those rate cuts, are no longer an issue, I see them going back up. So, for me, I'm planning to ride them up at probably till about 9. Maybe depending on what's happening at that point, 9, I'll begin thinking about an exit strategy, because, I'm looking at the total return. So, because you have to look too, like look at this yield, 9%. That's fantastic. And if you're going to get this movement back up here, that's going to be a huge total return. So that's kind of what I'm riding on that one as well. All right. Whew. All right, let's get to the next question here. FHA says, I've been an economist, maverick of Wall Street to under. I've been an economic. I've been an economist, maverick of Wall Street to understand Fed talks, events impacting the market. How important are these to maintain a do-it-yourself portfolio? Thanks. It depends. Here's the thing: if you are a long-term investor, so if you're looking at the long term, some of these events, they have impacts, yes, but most of them are short-term impacts. So a lot of the things that you see in the news, they may deflate the market for half a week, or maybe a week, but then the market recovers. So if you're on that long term and you're a dollar cost averaging, as I always maintain is the best way to go, well, in that case, if anything, those things happen, and if it happens to be your time to buy on your buying schedule, then yay you've gotten, you've averaged down during that period. But you got to kind of look at it. Now, so when we're talking about just simple things in the news. Now, of course, if we slip into something like a bear market, well, that's going to have a much bigger impact. But once again, depending on the time frame of your investing. So let's say, for example, and I know this is not your case, but let's say, for example, you were in like your 30s and you were buying a lot of, blue chip growth stocks, and, your circle the wagon foundation stocks, and you were just packing up with them. Then you just let them be, right? Even though if they go down in the bear market, who cares? And a year from now, they're all going to be doing great again. So, you're not too concerned about it. It really boils down to now, as you get older, as you start, and this is one of the reasons why your portfolio will look a lot different when you're 30 compared to when you're 50. So when you're 50 and you're starting to eye retirement, well, yeah, you can still go for the growth stocks. But if a bear market hits, you don't have as much time to recover. If the market has like let's say we had a prolonged bear market, that could be an issue. So what ends up happening is a lot of people will move away from, for example, the straight up growth stocks. They'll move into a more hybrid, so your total return stocks. People will tend to do that in their 40s and 50s. That way even if the market goes down, yeah, they still get that depression, but these are stocks that still have half decent dividends at the same time. So we're talking things like CNR, things like Scotiabank, and that's great. So you're still getting some dividends, you're still getting some income, which helps make the bear market go down a little easier. But then once you get a little older, so now when you're coming into retirement, And this, of course, will depend on what your goals are. But if your goal is to have income, so your goal is to have passive tax-free income because you've spent your entire life, you know, getting that TFSA maxed out, trying to, so you have as much room as possible. Well, at that point, then you might want to start looking at your, at your income portfolio. And there's a couple of ways you can do it. One of the ways that I like is know how much money you need. So if you only, let's say you need, so between everything else that you're getting outside of your TFSA, you only need about $2,000 a month, let's say tax-free coming out of your TFSA. That's fantastic. Well, you can optimize your TFSA to give you that amount. And if you still have room after that, well, at that point, you got a couple of decisions. One, you can just keep the income going higher and then just funnel that income back in. That's fine. That's fine. It'll still grow, and you'll still end up with more income each month doing it that way. Or the other option, especially earlier in retirement, is, you could, for example, have it stacked as income for what you need. And then if you've got a little bit less, let's say, for example, you got about 20,000 that you don't need to turn into income stocks because you've already got enough income coming out. Well, those 20,000, you could turn those into like total return stocks so that whether you're still getting more growth and you still then have money coming out. And why is that important? Well, somewhere's down the road, if you're in a situation where you're, let's say, for example, you're like, okay, well, I want to buy a motorhome. I just want to buy a motorhome. I want to travel more. Well, at that point, you've still got that core that's giving you the amount of money that you need. And keep in mind, you're going to be adjusting that core amount with inflation and with the overall cost of needs as and living as they go. Now, interestingly enough, as you get older, some of your expenses do actually come down because you don't spend as much time, going out and doing things. Sometimes if you're, for somebody who's like 80, probably sitting around watching TV is the best idea of a fun night. Maybe there's probably other 80-year-olds who are out there live streaming as they parachute. I'm never going to do that. Never, ever going to. I will never, ever parachute. I will tell you, I'm not afraid. I mean, it's not that I'm not afraid of heights. Like, I get a little woozy, but I can overcome that. But what I can't overcome is I can't jump. I can go up high. I feel the vertigo, but I overcome that. But you asked me to jump. No way. No way. You could have a snowbank beneath me. There's no chance I'm going to get hurt. I will not do it. I will not do it. I cannot jump. Simple as that. It's just not in my. It's not in my. It's just not in my mantra. I can't do it. I can't do it. But yeah. So with a do-it-yourself, like I said, with getting back to your original question, with a do-it-yourself portfolio, make a plan. Don't worry so much about the little things in the news that may be impacting things for a day or two. Worry about the larger economic cycles. Worry about how much time you have and what your financial goals are, because those are the things that are going to be the most important as you move along. All right. Redwater says, let's see, S&P down, Dow up. I haven't really looked at the Dow. I should put the Dow on my thing. I got to find the Dow. I'll add that to the list because that would be interesting. The Dow Jones was up. Well, keep in mind, a lot of the reason the S&P was down was all powered by that. A lot of it was powered by tech. So, you don't have tech sort of impacting the Dow like that. So that's probably why the Dow did better. Larry says, Toyota is using sulfur. Ooh, nice. To make the batteries coming out in 2026. Toyota with oil manufacturer Indimisu. Interesting. Sulfur. I have not heard of sulfur batteries. That could be cool. Other than car batteries have sulfuric acid in it. So there is sulfur in sulfuric acid. What is it? H2SO4? Something like that. Let's see. Black Dog says, thoughts on Global X GLCC gold producer ETF as an income and growth stock. All right. I do like GLCC, and I am pretty bullish on gold. So let's actually pull this up here since we got the thing here. GLCC. Here we go. All right. And I think this came up. I think I brought this up. I don't know. One of my lists, I had this recently. But let's first of all, let's take a look at just the last year. So gold has been on a tear since about here. And you can sort of see. And that's fantastic. So it has been doing well. Now, it does have a nice yield in addition to that. So you're looking at 9.141. Now, the nice thing about gold and the nice thing about an ETF of this nature is that you're never going to really get a big depression in gold. So let's take a look at the 20-year. All right. Well, this is the 20-year of this ETF, not the 20-year of gold. Wow. What the heck happened here? I don't know. That's, to me, is something I would investigate. So I really don't know what happened there. But what I was actually looking for is, sorry, let's go over here. Let's go to gold. And this is kind of what I want to look at. We will switch this here to, let's actually go with, we'll go with a 1 week chart. And I'll bring it down here. So you can sort of see, just looking back, gold tends to keep going up. And you can sort of see, you get these little legs like this, and we're already back here in 2017. And you can see since 2017, it has, now I'll just shrink it a little bit. It has, for the most part, been going up. Look at that. That's fantastic. Now, this would probably be the biggest drop that we had. And, you will get something like this from time to time. But for the general part, it does recover fairly quickly. And then just going back in time again, you'll see, if I can shrink this up even more. Yeah, there we go. You can see gold as generally will be going up. So if it does crash, it will recover. And that's why, and look at this, just look at this. So you can see this is a general up. You do have a few dips, and we'll run into dips like this again. Not this year, though. From what I'm hearing, gold is due to keep going up the rest of this year. So this, to me, is a good ETF. I like it. We'll leave it at that for now. All right. Y Video says the Class A part of FFN is getting safer as NAV is rising. Financial sector getting better. I like the fact that this ETF covers both US and Canada bank and financial companies. All right, let's go to FFN here. All right. Yeah, so a lot of people, they get kind of caught up in the Class A. But if you look, there's also this one here, ffn.pr.a. And let's take a gander here. So this one here, this is their preferred shares here. And if we look, let's just go to the 3-year, for example. You can sort of see they've come down, but they have been recovering. So this here is the bear market. That makes sense. Now, this one does have a half decent yield. It's not one of the crazy high yields. It's like a 7.598%. But you add that return in here as well to it, and you're making a half decent exchange. So when you're looking at split cores, don't always look at the one that has the highest dividends. Sometimes you can actually find better total returns on ones, for example, like this, on these preferred shares. And that's not too shabby. And this is a monthly dividend, and that's not a bad dividend at all, just to put it out there. All right. Vineet says, Candace making that money. How does FMAX look? Oh, wow. Let's take a look at FMAX. All right. So this is the US financials. So I always like to come in, first of all, we'll take a quick, let's do the 1 year. They haven't been around that long. I'm just reflexively always going to the 3-year. But this has been doing well. I mean, US financials, they had some issues. They did. I mean, you had a few of the smaller regional banks collapse, and everybody was convinced that it was going to be the end of the world, but it wasn't. There's always going to be, and I'll put this out there, every little hiccup that happens along the way, there will be people, especially on YouTube, who jump on those hiccups and try to make it sound like the sky is falling. Well, go away, Penny Little. Bring me the real data, and then we'll talk. in this case here, yeah, this is not a bad, they've been doing well. And I do like that sector. I mean, the US economy is strong. While that economy is strong, banks are doing well. And especially US banks, they don't have that mortgage wave that we have in Canada because, a lot of these people who locked in the low pandemic rates, they locked them into like 30-year mortgages. So it's not a big issue with them. Maybe in 2050 that might be an issue, and we'll talk about it then. So just put that on your calendar. Ask Candace about the banks in 2050, and we'll talk then. But no, I do like this, and as you can sort of see, it's an 11% dividend. That's not bad. That's not bad. You've got 11% yield. You've got nice moves to the upside. Yeah, I like it. I like it. FHS says, appreciate an example of your top TR ETFs, prior retirement and for retirement. Oh, well, that's going to have to be a video. I will do that. Yeah, I will absolutely do that in a video because it's not something I want to pull off the top of my head. I'd want to research it a little bit more, a little bit more. But I will say, I did recently do a total return ETF video, and a lot of those are nice ETFs. So they would be in contention for sure. But if I was trying to find my absolute top, I would play with I would actually play with the sliders on, because I was kind of looking for ones that had a specific level of dividends and a specific level of growth. So I would obviously play on that, increasing the growth, lowering the dividends, and going both ways just to see if there's some things that fell through the cracks that perhaps have bigger dividends, but they just had a little bit too little from the dividend side opposed to the growth side. So, and I'll give you a good example. Look at Loblaws. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's in the next video, but I will just bring this up here and I'll just point something out here with you with Loblaws. If you look at the 3-year chart for Loblaws, it's a nice movement up. Look at that. That's a lot of growth on the chart. You're looking at $85 to $165. So you're looking at a stock that has doubled. But when you look at their dividend, it's just a 1.234% yield. Not very big. But this is going to beat a lot of stocks. This will beat a lot of income stocks, for example, that may have, that 14% dividend, but they don't have that much in terms of growth. This thing here is crushing. Loblaws is crushing them. So just something to keep in mind. All right. Is the Biden thing he said considered a black swan? No. It's a minor fluctuation. A black swan would be what happened to Trump on the weekend. That would be a black swan. The pandemic, that was a black swan. The collapse of the financial market back in the housing, that's a black swan. The pandemic, black swan. Black swans tend to be a little bit bigger. Something that somebody says that affects, like RJ, or if Papa Powell comes out and says something that makes everybody think, oh my God, he's not going to cut rates. And that panics the market. That wouldn't be a black swan either. That's just normal stuff. But let's say you were invested in a coffee company and a hurricane came into, the property. Let's say the coffee company you invested in was Colombia, were based out of Colombia, and a hurricane just happened to hit their majority of their fields and destroyed everything. That would be a black swan. And you probably would lose a lot of money. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't see it coming. That's why, let's say if you were a coffee investor, don't have all of your coffee companies in Colombia. Maybe have some in South Korea or some other places. Sure, Colombian coffee has a better aroma than South Korean coffee, but, spread it out. Put your eggs in different baskets. Larry says, let's say Trump saying Taiwan needs to buy more weapons or pay for protection made the chips drop along with more China sanctions. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that Trump has been saying in regards to NATO is that if you're not meeting that 2% GDP requirement for NATO, you shouldn't be able to get any protection. That's one of the things he said. And an interesting thing is when he first initially started saying it, There was a whole bunch of countries within NATO that got themselves up to that 2% really fast. Now Trudeau has pledged to get Canada up, but I'll believe it when I see it. Um, kind of like a lot of things I hear from the current government nowadays. Vineet says, how about the power pool? Oh, the power pool. All right. And thank you for the info on FMAX. Would you be able to create your top TR ETFs live? Huh. Well, that is an interesting idea. Not on this show this time, but we could probably do something like that. You got to ask me soon. You got to ask me earlier in the show, though. Like right now, we're the dying minutes of the show, so if this is not something I could do pretty fast, or if you subscribe, and I don't know if you're subscribed or not. I think you are. No, you're not. If you subscribe to the channel membership and come to tomorrow night's channel member exclusive live stream, you can ask me to do it there, and I'll be more than happy to do that. Because we the channel members do get a little bit more, what's the word? They just get a little bit more of what they want. We'll just say it that way. But if you don't want to do that, certainly ask me earlier in the stream on Friday, and we can certainly take a look at that. We can go through and do a few. That would be no problem. All right. Last minute questions, guys. We've been at this for an hour and 30 minutes, so we're definitely over time, but we're back here Friday because we do have a Friday stream, thanks to the generosity of the Banana Bread Company, Mary Finn, of course, Larry Saunders, and Larry Summers. Where did I come up with Saunders? Yeah, Larry Summers and Y Videos. There we go. Now, if it was Saunders, perhaps he was a Colonel. Colonel Larry, no, Colonel Saunders. Or that's Sanders. Don't let my mouth run off. It's not safe. It's not safe. And I know Jonathan loves it when we get the gateway to the week. I can't remember the last Friday where we haven't had a stream. You guys have been turning it into a regular thing, so that'll be fantastic. All right. I am going to bid everyone a fond farewell for the night. We will be back here on Friday. And of course, for the channel members, we're here tomorrow night. It's going to be fantastic. And look forward to that Loblaws video coming out this week. I think it is a hot one. All right, everybody. Until then, take care. Enjoy your evening. I can't wait to talk to you guys soon. Bye.